Hey guys, how's it going? We got another new card revealed out of the Limit Over collection for the heroes. This is the card for Yuya for Arc 5. This card is called Astrograph Magician, the Star Magician, so it's a retrain of the original Astrograph Magician. Now in terms of art, this card looks really cool and they did a really good job on that, but at the same time this card's effects are also really broken. We're gonna talk about this card really quickly and then I'll show you guys a couple of combos just so you guys understand how good of a card this is. If you like Performer Pals, Pendulum Magician, or even Zarc, you're gonna be really happy with this card. This card is genuinely insane and I'm very surprised Konami made a card this good. This card is called Astrograph Magician, the Star Magician. During your main phase, you get to destroy this card in your Pendulum zone, and then you get to take a Pendulum monster from your hand or deck and place that card in your Pendulum zone. The monster you place has to be a scale 1 though. It also cannot activate its Pendulum effect this turn. The monster effect, if a face-up monster card you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you get to summon this card from your hand. Then you can special summon one of the destroyed monsters from your grave or face-up extra deck. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you get to tribute this card on the field, and then you get to fusion summon one Dragon Fusion monster from your extra deck. You get to shuffle the materials from your field and or face-up extra deck back into the deck. As I said, this card is basically amazing in any Pendulum deck. Basically, the entire Pendulum mechanic is centered around destroying your own cards to benefit you. There are tons of really good Pendulum cards that will destroy themselves to get you a search. This makes the new Star Magician really good. This means this card will be live with any starter card you have. This card's also great in Performer Pal and Odd Eyes because they have a ton of cards to destroy their own cards. Now another deck that can really make great use of this card is Zarc. This card makes summoning Zarc really easy. I'm going to show you guys a really easy combo to summon Zarc on the opponent's turn, and you're going to properly fusion summon the card. To do this combo, you only need 2 cards in your hand, which is going to be Supreme King Gate Magician and the new Astrograph Magician. Now it doesn't have to be these 2 cards specifically, you can also open other cards that will search the cards. You can open cards like Pendulum Evolution and the Wings of Light. The combination of cards in your hand really don't matter, it just has to get you to these 2 cards. You're going to start this combo off by activating Supreme King Gate Magician and placing this card into your Pendulum zone. Now you're going to activate this card's effect to destroy itself. Now you get to take a Supreme King Gate monster from your deck and place the card into your Pendulum zone. The card that we're going to place is Gate King 0. Gate King 0 is by far the best card. The only other card that you can place is an Infinity Gate, and that card is really bad. Now it's very unfortunate that you can't place another copy of Gate Magician because that card is pretty good. You should always go for Gate 0 because Infinity Gate is really bad. Now you're going to activate the effect of your Astrograph Sorcerer, the Star Magician, in your hand. If a monster card you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you get to summon this card from your hand, and then you get to summon the destroyed monster from your grave or face-up extra deck. Now it's very important here for people to know that a monster card is different than a monster. A monster card placed in your Pendulum zone is not treated as a monster, but the card is always a monster card. This means that destroying a Pendulum card will work with the new Astrograph Sorcerer. So this means we get to summon the new Astrograph Sorcerer from our hand, and now we get to activate the effect to summon our Gate Magician. And now the effect of Gate Magician will activate on summon. If this card is special summoned, you get to add 1 card from your deck that mentions Supreme King Zarc. Now the card that you add can't be a spellcaster monster, but that's fine. There are so many other good cards in this archetype that you can search. Now the card that I'm going to search is Soul of the Supreme King, but you can also search other cards like Pendulum Evolution and the Wings of Light. You can also add cards like Lightworm from your deck to your hand as well. However, Soul is the best one, and you'd only add the other cards to your hand if you already had Soul. Now you're going to set Soul and end your turn. On your opponent's turn, you're going to activate Soul of the Supreme King. This card will let you summon Zarc by paying half of your life points. Now this is going to ignore the card's summoning condition and the card's effects are negated. Now when your opponent activates a spell card, you're going to activate the effect of Soul in your grave. This card will banish itself from the grave along with your Zarc, but now you get to summon one each of the different dimension dragons. This means you get to summon 1 Pendulum Dragon, 1 Xyz Dragon, 1 Synchro Dragon, or Infusion Dragon from your hand, deck, or extra deck. You can also summon it from the grave as well. Now this effect is amazing for 2 reasons. The first one is you don't have to summon the original Dimension Dragons. The original cards are Odd as Pendulum Dragon, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Now these cards aren't terrible, but in terms of effects they're pretty poor now. They really can't keep up with the modern game, and it makes a lot of sense because these cards were made over a decade ago. This is what makes that card really good because you don't have to summon the original. This means we don't have to play the original Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, we can use the Heavenly Dragon. So this is amazing here because Synchro Dragon and Fusion Dragon have a lot of really good cards. The second reason why this card is so good is because it doesn't negate the effects of the monsters that it summons. So the Pendulum and the Xyz Dragon are pretty poor in terms of the cards that we can summon. We're gonna summon the new Heavenly Dragon for Odd Eyes, but we don't have the new Xyz Dragon revealed yet. That's honestly fine though, we're just gonna summon the original Dark Rebellion. Now Xyz Dragon does have a lot of really good cards, but it really doesn't make sense to summon any of them. The problem is that a lot of Xyz monsters to activate their effects have to detach a material. If you cheat out Dark Requiem, the card won't have a material. That's pretty unfortunate, so we're just gonna summon the original Dark Rebellion. Now for your Synchro and Fusion Dragon options, options, these cards are really good. For your Synchro Dragon options, you can summon Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. This card is amazing because when a monster effect is activated from anywhere, you get to negate the activation and destroy that card. Also, if you destroy that card, you get to increase this monster's attack by that card's attack. It's a pretty nice small bonus. A free monster negate is amazing, but if you want, you can also get a spell or trap negate. You can summon another card like Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. That card is the same as Crystal Wing, except it will negate a spell or trap. In my opinion, it's always better to go with Crystal Wing, but Crystal Clearwing is also pretty decent. Now, you can also summon the new Heavenly Dragon Clearwing card, but that card is honestly kinda mid. You really won't get that much value out of that card if you're playing it in Zarc. Now, the Fusion Dragon card is crazy broken. It's probably the best card out of all these. The card that you're gonna summon is Starving Venom of the 4 Heavenly Dragons. This card is crazy broken. If this card is special summoned, you get to target a monster on the field and negate that card's effect. The card's attack will also turn to 0 and it will become a dark monster. This is really great because the new Heavenly Dragon has another effect. You get to fusion summon by using dark monsters on the field as material, including cards on your opponent's field. This is really good because you can take the monster that you negated and use the card as fusion material. Also, if your opponent has another dark monster on the field, you can just take that one instead. You get to use this card's effect to fusion summon, and now you're gonna summon Starving Venom. On your opponent's turn, you get to activate the second effect of Star Magician. You get to tribute this card on the field, and now you get to fusion summon a Dragon Fusion. You're gonna take your 4-dimension dragon to fusion summon into Zarc. Now the effect of Zarc will activate because the card was special summoned. Now you get to destroy all cards your opponent controls. Now I know this isn't optimal, but let me just say this is so cool. I'm a really big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, so summoning Zarc is awesome. I really enjoyed the dynamic between the Dimension Dragons, so I really like this combo. Obviously, like I said, it isn't optimal, but at the same time, it's really cool. I know a lot of people are a really big fan of Arc 5, so summoning Zarc is great. On top of that, you also got a lot of interruption. That Fusion Dragon is really good. It's without a doubt right now the best of the Heavenly Dragons. Now we're gonna move on to combo number 2, and this is the combo you should do. All you need is Gate Magician and the new Astrograph Sorcerer. You're gonna place Gate Magician into your Pendulum Zone and activate this card's effect to destroy itself. Now you're gonna place Gate 0 from your deck into your Pendulum Zone. You're gonna activate the effect of the Star Magician in your hand to summon this card, and now you get to summon the destroyed monster, so you're gonna summon your Gate Magician. Now the effect of Gate Magician will activate on special summon. We're gonna add the Soul of the Supreme King from our deck to our hand. Now in our previous combo, what I did was I set the card and we ended our turn, but we're gonna do something a bit different here. Because we activated a spell card this turn, we get to banish our Astrograph Sorcerer to summon Dark Magician of Destruction. This card can be summoned by banishing any level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster the turn you activated a spell card. Now we're gonna activate the effect of our Dark Magician of Destruction. You get to add any card that mentions Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. We're gonna activate this effect and get a search for the Gaze of Timaeus. We're gonna use our Gate Magician and our Dark Magician of Destruction as link material to link summon. We're gonna summon IP Masquerena. Now you're gonna activate the Gaze of Timaeus from your hand. This card will let you target Dark Magician on your field or in your grave and use that card as material. You get to fusion summon one fusion monster by shuffling that card into your deck as material. However, the monster that you summon will be banished during the end phase of the next turn. So this is really good. We're gonna activate our Gaze of Timaeus and target our Dark Magician of Destruction in our grave. The reason why we can do this is because Dark Magician of Destruction is treated as Dark Magician on the field or in the grave. So we're gonna use our Gaze of Timaeus and target this card and return it back to our extra deck. And now we get to summon Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. This is incredibly important that you summon this card for a couple of reasons. First of all, this card is just a really broken fusion monster. This card can't be destroyed by card effects, and neither player can target this card with card effects. Also, on top of that, once per turn when a card or effect is activated, you get to negate that effect by discarding a card. Also, that card will be destroyed and this card will gain 1000 attack. This card is incredibly broken, one of the greatest fusion monsters ever made. One of the most important reasons why you want to summon this card is because this is summon 5. Summon 1 is Astrograph Sorcerer, summon 2 is Gate Magician, summon 3 is Dark Magician of Destruction, and summon 4 is IP Masquerena. Dragoon is summon 5, so you're safe from Nibiru. If your opponent tries to activate that card, you're going to activate the effect of Dragoon and negate that card. Very good stuff here. Now you're going to set your Soul of the Supreme King and end your turn. On your opponent's turn, you're going to activate Soul of the Supreme King and summon Zarc. Now when your opponent activates a spell card or effect, you're going to activate the effect of Soul in your grave. You're going to banish this card and the Zarc on your field to summon 4 of the Dimension Dragons. We're going to summon Odd-Eye's Pendulum Dragon of the 4 Heavenly Dragons, Dark Rebellion, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and Starving Venom of the 4 Heavenly Dragons. Now the effect of Starving Venom will activate here and negate the effect of one monster your opponent controls. Now when your opponent activates any card or effect, you can activate the second effect of Starving Venom. Now you're going to fusion summon. You can take the monster they control and this card to fusion summon into Dracos Tapelia if you want. Dracos Tapelia will place a predator counter on a monster your opponent controls and negate that monster's effect. So you got a free monster negate that's pretty good. Basically, Starving Venom got to deal with 2 monsters. Now if you want, you can also summon a better fusion. Remember, like I said before, you can take any amount of monsters your opponent controls. If they have another monster on the field, you can use a material. You can summon Trifaveritum. This card requires 3 dark monsters on the field, so it's pretty costly to summon this card, but it's well worth it. The reason why is because this card has a really good effect. When your opponent special summons a monster, you can negate that card if it was summoned from the extra deck. That's incredibly broken. Negating a summon is amazing. Now if you really want to summon this card, you don't even have to wait for your opponent to have a second dark monster on the field. You can just take your Dark Rebellion because this card is going to do nothing on your field. Now you can can also summon Trifaveritum that way. Now, I want to keep my Dark Rebellion on the field, so we're just gonna go with Dracostapelia. However, like I said, if your opponent has another monster on the field, you get to use that card. That's an easy way to summon Trifaveritum. Now, on the opponent's turn, you also have the effect of IP Masquerena to quick link summon. You're gonna activate this card's effect and use your Dark Rebellion to summon WP Fancy Ball. Just like IP Masquerena, this card will let you link summon on the opponent's turn. What makes this card better than IP Masquerena though is that this card doesn't have to use itself as material. That's really great because this card has another effect to negate something. Now, after you ready use the effect of Dragoon, you can get rid of the card. Like I said before, the Gaze of Demise will banish this card during the end phase, so we want to get rid of the card. You're gonna use the effect of Fancy Ball to use Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon and your Dragoon to link summon. You're gonna use both of those cards to summon SP Little Knight. So now, because we use the Fusion Monster as material, we get to target a card our opponent controls or in their grave and banish it. Also, when your opponent activates another card or effect, you can activate the effect of your Little Knight. You can banish this card on the field to banish another monster on the field. So you get to take away 2 cards off 1, which is really good value. Now you also have the effect of Fancy Ball ready. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field or in the grave, you get to banish this card and negate that activation. You also have your Crystal Wing, so you get another negate. So in total, if you did this combo, you get 7 interruptions on the opponent's turn. This combo is so much better. Like I said, I really like the first combo because summoning Zarc is really cool because I'm a fan of Arc 5, but in terms of optimization and the best combo, this one is way better. Now in this combo, you already have a lot of ways to deal with monster effects, so if you want, you can summon Crystal Clear Wing. Like I said, that might be a bit better than summoning Crystal Wing, but it's up to you. Fancy Ball and SP will also return to your field during the end phase, so you can also use those cards as link material on your next turn. Pretty good, you have some nice follow-up. So now that I showed you guys a bunch of combos how we can summon Zarc, I do want to show you guys some Z-ARCless combos. Instead of adding Soul of the Supreme King, we can do some other combos. For this combo, you only need 2 cards in your hand, which is the new Astrograph Sorcerer and Gate Magician. You're going to activate Gate Magician and place this card into your Pendulum Zone. Now you're going to activate this card's effect to destroy itself and place Gate 0 into your Pendulum Zone. Now you're going to activate the effect of the Star Magician. Now you get to summon this card from your hand, and now you get to summon your destroyed Gate Magician from your extra deck. Now the effect of Gate Magician will activate on special summon. Now before, the card that we used to add was Soul, but I want to add a different card. Now this time we're going to add Lightworm. Now we're going to take our Gate Magician and our Star Magician to link summon into Beyond the Pendulum. Now it's very unfortunate that we have to summon this card in the TCG. The reason why is because Electromite is still banned in the TCG. This is why I really don't like showcasing Pendulum decks. Basically every Pendulum deck in the TCG is significantly worse because there's no Electromite. Now don't get me wrong, Beyond the Pendulum isn't a bad card, but Electromite is so good. This combo that I'm showing you guys would be so much better if I had Electromite. The OCG Pendulum combos are so much better. It honestly just feels kind of bad playing a Pendulum deck in the TCG without Electromite. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to showcase a Zarc deck with a new card. Zarc unironically is one of the best Pendulum decks without Electromite. Yes, my combo would get better, but at the same time, you can do a lot of stuff without Electromite. Other Pendulum decks in the TCG really need Electromite. Now we're going to activate the effect of Beyond the Pendulum. Because this card was link summoned in our extra monster zone, you get to pay 1200 life points to add a Pendulum monster from your deck. We're going to add double Iris Magician. Now because we activated this card effect, you can't activate the effect of monster cards. Also, the effects of the cards in your Pendulum zone will get negated. Now this really isn't that big of a deal because all you have to do is Pendulum summon and you can activate your cards again. So we're going to scale double Iris Magician and now we're going to Pendulum summon. You're going to Pendulum summon your Star Magician and your Lightworm to the zones that Beyond the Pendulum point to. Now we also could have summoned our Gate Magician, but we don't need the card anymore. The main reason is because we want to activate the second effect of Beyond the Pendulum. When 2 monsters with different levels are summoned to the zones that this card points to, you get to destroy 2 cards on the field. This is why we have to summon our Lightworm here. So now we're going to target our double Iris Magician and our Gate 0 and destroy the cards. Now the effect of double Iris Magician will activate. You get to add any Pendulum Graph card from your deck to your hand. Now you get a choice between Star Pendulum Graph and Time Pendulum Graph. Both of these cards are really broken. What Star Pendulum Graph does is your opponent cannot target spellcaster monsters you control with spell cards. Time Pendulum Graph does the same thing except for traps. Both of the cards also have another effect. If a face-up Magician Pendulum monster leaves your monster zone or your Pendulum zone, you get to add a Magician Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. This is a crazy good extender. This is really easy to trigger and you just get a free monster. Time Pendulum Graph is also pretty crazy. You get to target a Magician Pendulum monster card in your monster zone or your Pendulum zone and a card your opponent controls, destroy both of them, and then if this effect did not destroy 2 cards, you get to send a card on the field to the grave. That is crazy good. That's an effect that doesn't target or removes a card. You can also summon your Dark Magician of Destruction if you want, and that will trigger your Pendulum Graph. Even Z-ARCless combos are good with this card. Now the last combo is going to be a really funny combo. Place Gate Magician into your Pendulum zone and activate this card's effect. Destroy this card to place Gate 0 from your deck into your Pendulum zone. Now activate the effect of your Star Magician. The card will summon itself from your hand and also summon your Gate Magician. Gate Magician effect activate add Lightworm. Now you're going to link summon into Beyond the Pendulum. Now we get to activate the effect of Beyond the Pendulum and add any Pendulum monster from our deck to our hand. Now we're going to activate the effect of Beyond the Pendulum to add Harmonizing Magician. Now we're going to scale Lightworm. Now we're going to Pendulum summon. You're going to summon Gate Magician and Star Magician to the zones that Beyond the Pendulum point to. You're also going to Pendulum summon Harmonizing Magician from your hand. Now the effect of Harmonizing Magician will activate. Because we Pendulum summon this card from our hand, you get to summon a Magician Pendulum monster from your deck. We're going to summon double Iris Magician. Now we're going to take our Gate Magician and our Star Magician to Exceed summon into Absolute Dragon. Now we're going to link summon using Beyond on the Pendulum, Harmonizing Magician, and Double Iris Magician, we're gonna link summon Halka5X Prism. Now you get to summon any Synchro Tuner monster from your extra deck that has levels equal to the levels that you used. So because I used Harmonizing Magician and Double Iris Magician, who are both level 8 together, now we get to summon a Synchro Tuner from our extra deck that's level 8 or lower. We're gonna summon Dragoonity Knight Lewin. Now you're gonna take Halka5X and Lewin to link summon into Dragoonity Lord Georgius. This card is also really busted. Two effects are gonna activate here. The effect of Lewin will activate because the card was sent to the grave. It will equip itself onto Georgius. Because we link summon Georgius, you get to summon a level 5 or higher Dragoonity monster from your extra deck or your grave. We're gonna summon Dragoonity Arus. Now you're gonna take Arus and Absolute Dragon to link summon into IP Masquerena. The effect of Absolute Dragon will activate here and summon Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Now you're gonna end your turn with this, and on your opponent's turn, when they special summon a monster, you're gonna activate the effect of Georgius again. Now you get to summon Dragoonity Knight or Reed Bear. So what do we have here? You have an Omni Negate off the effect of Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon and a Monster Negate off the effect of a Reed Bear. Your opponent also could not activate monster effects in the grave because you have Georgius. IP Masquerena will also let you link summon on the opponent's turn. So when your opponent activates a monster effect, you're gonna activate the effect of Reed Bear and banish Arus. Now you get to negate that monster effect activation. Georgius' effect will activate here and negate a spell or trap, and now the effect of Lewin will activate here. Because this card was sent to the grave, it will equip itself onto Georgius again. Now that means you still get the Abyss Dweller effect, which is so good. That means your opponent can't activate any monster effects in the grave. Vortex Dragon's effect will activate and return one of your Pendulum monsters back to your deck. Now you get an Omni Negate. You also get to activate the effect of IP Masquerena to link summon, so we're gonna take our Reed Bear to link summon. Now we're gonna summon SP Little Knight. Now the effect of SP will activate, and now we get to banish a card our opponent controls or in their grave. And now when your opponent activates another card or effect, you can activate the other effect of SP. Now you get to banish this card and a monster on the field. So basically, if you did everything right, you get 6 interruptions and a floodgate. Honestly, Georgius is way too broken. I can't believe they made a card this strong and made it generic. It wouldn't surprise me if one day this card got banned. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the showcase of the new Astrograph Sorcerer, the Star Magician. I'm very happy that Zarc and Yuya got a really strong card. That's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys for the next video.